You're listening to Comic Reflections, episode 135. I'm your host, Nicholas Prom.
And I'm Jeff Barnhart, girl reporter for the Daily Planet.
Who knew?
Yeah.
Comic Reflections is brought to you by Rhymes with Geek. You can check out our show, plus many other cool podcasts like Feed It Comics, The All New Anti-Fanboy, and Superhero Speak at rhymeswithgeek.com. You can also find us on backissueheroes.com. And if you enjoy our show, please subscribe to us on either iTunes or Stitcher. So, as Jeff alluded to in the intro, today we're going to talk all about Superman's girlfriend, Lois Lane. And today, specifically, we're going to talk about an 80-page giant. That's kind of some of Lois's best stories.
Like their greatest shockers.
Yes. They always do a theme with those. So it's Lois Lane, number 77. And, yeah.
Yeah. You know, it's Lois Lane, Superman's girlfriend, but she's not really a girlfriend. Kind of a...
Like, they're not in a relationship. Not exactly.
Yeah.
It's more like she's really into it, and you'll see her casually, you know?
Yeah, or to save her. And,
yeah.
He is fond of her, but...
I feel like she may be his greatest nemesis in a way, because she's always trying to trap him into marrying her or trick him into revealing his secret identity.
A frenemy.
Yeah.
Because she doesn't mean him harm, but she does want to marry him. One, marry him. Two, discover his secret identity.
Which would do him harm because people he cared about would be in danger.
Yeah, but
like Lois and Jimmy, but they are all the time anyway, you know.
Right. Well, that's true too. But they mean more harm. They mainly accidentally get into stuff. And, you know, you'd have nations going after Jimmy Olsen and Lois Lane if they found out.
Right.
It's something else. I don't know. I'm not a huge Lois Lane fan as a character. Although I was looking, she's kind of a strong female character. I know she's pining for Superman.
Yeah.
But she's always trying to get the scoop.
Yeah.
She's brave.
Yeah.
You know, and I don't know. I don't know what else. That's a strong character.
Sure. I mean, I think Lois as a character has more depth and is a better example of feminism in either the Golden Age or in the Bronze Age onward. The Silver Age is very like a return to traditional values, and I want to get a man, you know, more than I want to get a scoop. And the other periods, it's the reverse of that. So,
well, but that is a common trait of many females is to want to get a man. So it's not like it's
right.
We're writing science fiction here.
But I think
she's still doing dangerous stuff. I mean, stuff I wouldn't go do.
Right, but don't you think that the Silver Age Lois Lane stories, the real focus is on trying to get Superman rather than trying to further her career?
Well, I don't know. Every time in here, she's trying to get a scoop.
That's true.
You know?
That's true.
And the only reason you get a scoop is to further your career. So,
okay.
That's sort of... Okay, hey, let's start off with The Witch of Metropolis.
That's right. And The Witch of Metropolis is from a reprint from Lois Lane number 1, written by Otto Binder, with art by Kurt Schaffenberger.
All right, we need to read the table of contents for each one of these because they're hilarious.
Okay.
The Witch of Metropolis. She's a beautiful girl by day. By moonlight, transformer Lois Lane into a hideous hag with supernatural powers. Wow. That is so cool.
Yes, so let's get right into this.
All right. Lois Lane goes to a museum they never name, but there's a superstition display. And there's... Oh, my... There is a ladder that 5 knights walked underneath, and he died the next day. And a black cat that brought the king such bad luck that he lost his empire. And Mad Molly, who Molly Todd is a normal girl during the day, but she turns into Mad Molly when the witch casting evil spells thing happens. Okay, so. I didn't come out with it, but that's okay. But it's goofy. But Lois drops her compact and breaks a mirror. But most superstitions are common sense.
Yeah.
Breaking mirrors is a bad thing to do. Salt back then was expensive, so you don't want to spill it. Walking under a ladder, not a good idea unless you're one of the Three Stooges.
Well, right. It's hazardous to do that.
Black cats, well, cats are evil. So.
Oh, all right.
Oh, well, I've had cats, but they're okay. How many people have a 100-pound dog?
Some people.
Quite a few. How many people do you know have a 100-pound cat?
None.
Why is that?
Because cats are small.
No, there's 100-pound cats all over the place. Because a 100-pound cat will eat you.
Yeah. Because we're talking like wild cats.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, and I think if your tabby would grow up to 100 pounds, they'd eat you.
Okay.
All right. So, Lois doesn't believe in this superstition, so she's happy to get away from that and goes into some kind of biology lab, and she sniffs a beaker that has fumes coming out of it. I never said she was smart.
Okay.
And then she turns into a hideous hag. And it looks like the old EC Comics hag. And it's really
the old
great
witch.
looking.
Yeah.
Okay.
What I loved about the old witch was one of her eyes was like huge and like kind of cataracty.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, man. All right. So she's walking around. Let's see. What is she? And she meets Superman and pretends not to be Lois because she doesn't want anybody seeing her as a hideous hag.
Right.
But she sees some criminals. Man, Lois and Jimmy just see criminals all over the place.
Yeah. You'd think this was
was
Gotham City, not Metropolis. Right?
You're right. And I can't remember the last time I saw a crime being committed.
But intrepid reporters are always stumbling onto stuff.
I guess so.
But even if she's not looking for it. But yeah, anyway.
Right. All right. So she hops. Okay. So when in the daytime, she turns into good old Lois Lane. And then at night, she turns back into the hideous hag. And she gets on a broom and flies around. And so she wants to get the scoop. See, even as a witch, she wants to get a scoop. So she goes into this where they're filming the secret movie.
Okay.
And she makes a hole in the wall. She goes through, and it's a science fiction film.
Mm-hmm.
And so Lois turns in a great story, and that she scoops the whole city.
Okay.
But she's feeling guilty because she thinks she's turning evil.
And she used witchy powers to get the scoop.
Right. Okay, so here's something she really does bad. She uses her powers to stop the ship which is coming in that Clark is going to get this scoop.
Oh.
So the ship, she stops the ship.
Yeah.
And grabs the MacGuffin.
Yeah.
And comes back and gives it to Perry, and Clark is all ticked off looking. It's really cool. Really see him angry.
Well, yeah, and here's the thing. Lois does a lot of underhanded things.
Yeah, she does.
So does Lana, but...
Yeah. But then here she gets evil. She wishes up kryptonite. Man. So, I don't know. She becomes sad about it, and she says, "Oh, this is awful." And because I almost use kryptonite to expose your identity, and she decides not to. And Superman comes, and she tells that he recognized her the first time he saw her.
Uh-huh.
And he was using superpowers to make her think she was using magical powers.
But really, the stuff she inhaled was an aging formula.
Right. Man.
The professor was working on an anti-aging thing, and he got it backwards or something.
Well, that tells Superman this is what Lois is going to look like in 50 years.
Ooh, yeah. No wonder he's trying to avoid marrying her. He's trying to dodge that bullet.
Right.
That's a bullet that won't bounce off your chest. But
Right.
But
no, that's kind of not bad. Yeah, it wasn't that bad. All right. Okay, the next one.
It's called Lois Lane, Convict.
Yeah, Lois Lane is arrested for taking bribes from a criminal gang, and not even Superman can help her this time because she confesses her guilt.
Okay, so this is a reprint from Lois Lane #6, and it was written by Bill Finger with art by Kurt Schaffenberger.
Okay, Lois is walking down the street, and this guy offers her $5,000 because you're the first person wearing a red hat when they come by, and she says,
"What?"
Yeah, she doesn't believe him, and it's all you got to do is not write about the fake license plate mob. Just
That's so specific. That's all they do is make fake license plates?
Yeah, for only 3 days she can't talk about the case. So she says, my mom does need that operation, so she takes it and she buys a new dress, which looks awful, but the top looks okay. The bottom has its bows and it looks no.
Well,
Right. So the next day, or 3 days later, the guy comes up and offers her $4,000 so to buy the supercar, which is awesome looking. I would if I had the money, I'd buy that car.
is it like a Studebaker or something? It looks nice.
I don't know. It's super long and it only has 2 seats in it. It's just awesome. It doesn't exist in this world, I'm afraid.
It's a nice car, white wall tires.
Yeah. Man, what happened to white walls? Okay, so
I don't know.
Okay. So the guy comes up and hey, I'll give you money so you can buy this car. And he says, well, no, I don't want it. He says, well, I got a picture you taking the first bribe. So now you got to take this other bribe not to do it for 3 more days. So they'll expose her.
Right.
So they give her more money. She buys a fur coat.
Yeah. Never mind, saving it.
Right. Yeah, true.
Lois, the spendthrift.
Right. She goes by. What is she? She's buying.
No wonder she couldn't pay for her mom's operation.
Right. Okay, she's buying a diamond bracelet, and they found out, hey, this money is the money used was in the big robbery. So, oh, so she goes to court, and it's kind of sad.
She gets her fingerprints taken and all that stuff, and she goes to prison. And I love how Superman and Perry and Jimmy are going to raise money for her defense, but then she admits her guilt after they raise all that money for her.
Because she feels guilty about them raising money for it.
Yeah.
And the looks on their face.
Yeah.
And it's just amazing.
Yeah.
And here's a really sad thing that Perry writes this headlines. Lois Lane confesses guilt. Promise to reveal hiding place of evidence. The fake plate mob. Okay. And Perry says, Superman is the hardest story ever had to print. And Superman's sad too.
Superman, I like Superman's hand on his shoulder consoling him, or trying to.
Yeah.
Wow.
Wow.
Good stuff.
Yeah. All right. So Lois gets another visit. It's the same guy who's bribing her all this time and says, it's time we're going to make a big break. And if you don't get out, you'll get 10 years. And you won't look so good as Superman after 10 years, he says.
Man.
Yeah.
Okay. And that's a way to just get her where it hurts because, Lois is kind of vain.
Yeah, she is. Okay, so they escape prison, and I found out it's Baldy Pate.
Pate means, like head or whatever. Right. So, and surprise, surprise, he is bald.
Right.
With a big cigar.
Yeah, and so they did all this to find out where the evidence is hidden.
It was a ruse.
Right. And Superman comes in and they knock Superman into a press, and this, like in the Terminator.
Yeah.
And but Superman, it doesn't work.
Yeah, I like how they were able to knock him over somehow.
That's weird.
Like,
they had this big old heavy hook, and I suppose you know,
I mean,
just
because
hanging down.
it's not like he weighs like has an infinite amount of weight or something, but it's
Yeah.
weird for him. Oh, they kind of yanked him from his standing position with the hook. Is that it?
Well, the hook, I mean, you know, hooked it for heavy machinery. It
Yeah.
comes from the ceiling. These things are about 500 pounds or something
Sure.
like that. So, or maybe less than that, but
Yeah.
they're heavy. So,
Yeah, they had to have catch him by surprise in order for that to work. But yeah.
maybe he says, "Oh, let me fall for their plan and see what the plan is."
Ah, okay.
So,
Because it's not like he can't get out of it. He is Superman.
right. All right.
It's a hydraulic press is what we were looking for.
That's right. I
Yeah.
guess it is a hydraulic press.
Yeah.
So, all right. And it was all a scam, or a scam by Lois and the authorities to find out.
To bring them out in the open.
Yeah, which was kind of cool.
Yeah. So they printed the fake story about her, being a criminal, and they played right into their hands. That was excellent. So the next story is called "The 6 Lives of Lois Lane." And did you want to read that other little tagline about it?
I don't know. It's not as good as the other one. But a sudden shock sends Lois off the deep end, and she winds up imagining every famous woman from Annie Oakley to Queen Isabella.
Okay. It's a reprint from Action Comics number 198, written by Bill Wolfold, and with art by Wayne Boring and Stan K.
Mm-hmm.
Boring on pencils, K on inks, obviously.
Oh, okay.
Wayne Boring is probably my number 2 Superman artist,
Really?
behind Kurt Swan.
I
like his stuff a lot.
It's not bad.
No, it's great.
It's
I mean, the two of them really embody Superman in the Silver Age to me.
Mm-hmm.
So.
I don't know. I like his faces of Superman.
Oh yeah.
Just grim determination. So, all right. Lois is sent to Kenya, Africa, and because there's a crazy witch doctor is causing trouble. So Superman goes down there and defeats the witch doctor's minions. And he asks, "Why are you so mad, witch doctor?" And he says, "Because white lady nurse treats sick fella. It's my job treats all sick fella. Belong my tribe."
Oh, this isn't racist at all. I know.
Pidgin English is, there's actually, someone went to the South Pacific and watched their news, and the news was in Pidgin English.
Really?
Yeah, man, I want to hear that. A big fella, this, and, that's what the quote was. And this is, wow. So, but yeah, it's hard because it's not true they're going to speak like they work for the BBC.
Well, right.
And so I don't know what can you do.
Yeah, at least these natives are actually, these natives are actually like look black. I mean, we've seen some natives that are like vague native tribes, and they look like white people. You know, like
right. All right. So Superman goes to the doctor and says, "Who is this nurse treating people?" And he says, "You won't believe it's Superman, but it's Florence Nightingale." And Lois Lane is fixing up this tribesman, and looks like it works.
Yeah. It's so funny. When I was a kid, I thought Florence Nightingale was a singer. Like I didn't know the story about the nurseness or whatever.
Okay.
But if you don't know, it sort of sounds like a singery kind of name.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess so.
One night only, Florence Nightingale.
Yeah.
So
sing like a nightingale.
Sure.
Is a term.
Yeah.
And there's a nightingale story about the Chinese emperor who has
Yes, that's a great story.
Isn't it, though?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. Is that a...
I think it's just called The Nightingale.
Right.
I think.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I read it as a kid.
Mm-hmm.
So, anyway.
All right, so Superman's talking to Jimmy, and they're trying to figure out what's going on. And then...
With Lois.
What's going on with Lois. And Superman remembers changing from Clark to Superman, and he thinks that Lois saw his reflection.
Okay.
So, okay. So she becomes Betsy Ross, and Superman makes these huge vat of paint, and I'm not sure. He takes like a redwood log
Uh-huh.
and mixes it.
He makes a giant flagpole and makes a giant U.S. flag.
Remember in Superman 2, where Superman carries a flag to the White House?
From the moon or no. Okay.
The very end, everything's okay. General Zod's defeated. He fixes up the White House, I guess, apparently, and he brings a flag, and it's a real. But here's the same thing where he's carrying a flag like that. Is that a common thing? I don't remember seeing him doing it before.
I think those are the only two examples, and I'm not remembering that from Superman 2.
Oh, it's kind of famous, but okay. Well,
but it might be in the Donner cut, which I've seen less.
I think it was like on the ads.
Oh, okay.
As well as so, but it's a good film.
I love it.
Yeah,
I love it.
like the first two. I even liked Richard Pryor a little bit, and I couldn't even begin.
There's
the fourth one.
Superman 3 and 4. They each have moments, but just the rest of the movies are just crap.
Yeah.
Within them, but yeah, Superman 1 and 2 are both wonderful. I like the series overall, even though the latter entries are kind of flawed, seriously flawed.
Right. Yeah.
So, but anyway, yeah, and he brings this giant U.S. flag and leaves part of it for Lois to finish, so she can kind of get that Betsy Ross thing out of her system.
Yeah.
Then who's she changed into after that?
Barbara Fritchie, who
I'm like, who?
Okay. In the Civil War, Barbara Fritchie's town was invaded by Stonewall Jackson, and
the country singer? No, I'm just
I like
kidding.
Stonewall Jackson, but
yeah. I know you mean the historical figure. I'm joking.
And they're going to turn on the flag on the courthouse, and Barbara Fritchie said no. You can shoot this old gray head, but you can't take this flag. And so Stonewall Jackson, being a gentleman, said, "Okay, we'll move on." So.
Oh, I thought you said, "Okay, bang."
No. He's a Sunday school teacher. And
wait, was he?
Yes.
I did not know that. I have not studied up on Stonewall so much.
Yeah. And he taught a Sunday school teacher to slaves as well. So,
hey, okay. Wait, didn't he fight for the Confederacy?
Yeah.
Okay.
History's weird.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
Okay, so she's Barbara Fritchie, and some guy's trying to kill her. And Superman comes and saves the day by wrapping a lamppost around him.
That's a very Captain Marvel thing to do.
Yeah, wouldn't you love to be able to do that to bad guys?
When I read these Superman stories, I think like, because Otto Binder, who wrote so many of these, I don't think he wrote this story, but Otto Binder wrote like at least 50% of all Captain Marvel stories.
Mm-hmm.
And so he was a huge part of that mythology. And I sometimes I think about like, what if Captain Marvel was in these stories rather than Superman, like experiencing this stuff?
Yeah, Captain Marvel, I think the age is a little bit. I don't know. The golden age of comics is 8. Yeah. But Marvel's a little bit below that, maybe.
His stuff is a little more juvenile and it's far more whimsical.
I'm trying not. I don't mean that in a bad way. I think that I love Captain Marvel, and I don't want our listeners to think that too. But it's not as complex as Superman. No,
it's really not. And it's a shame because I think Captain Marvel is a wonderful character.
Mm-hmm.
That his stories could do with some more of that complexity, or a little higher reading level type of stuff. It's a shame he didn't last into the Silver Age, because I think we would have seen an interesting progression with the character during that time.
I think you're right. That'd have been interesting. Or it may have turned sucky. Who knows?
Well, because I think when he came back in the early 70s, and then they tried to kind of duplicate the tone of his Golden Age adventures, it didn't work, because that doesn't appeal to the 1970s comic book reading audience. And so it just is really, there's too much dissonance there. Yeah. But if the character had grown over time and stayed in publication, I think we would have had a better Captain Marvel in the 70s.
He was done so well in that this wonderful modern comic book. Oh, what is it?
Oh, you're talking about Kingdom Come.
Yes, that was great. And
Yeah.
his entrance was wonderful. It's kind of giving me shivers. You know,
Oh yeah, well, and Alex Ross is a huge Captain Marvel fan, and it shows.
Mhm.
And his rendition of Marvel was phenomenal. He looked like he burst into real life.
Right.
You know, because Alex Ross's art is so photorealistic.
Mm-hmm. He is good.
Yeah. So yes.
Okay, so Lois Lane, I don't know.
She's crazy.
All right. She goes. They're making an atomic generator, and it's probably the first one ever, apparently, according to this. And there's a problem with it, and she tries to fix it because now she's Mary Curie.
Curie.
So,
Yeah.
Let's see. Yeah. Okay. What else? So then she becomes Queen Isabella, and demands,
Superman pretends to be Christopher Columbus to kind of get her through that delusion.
Yeah. And then she remembers. I remember now. I saw you change the Clark Kent in the mirror, Superman. And he says, "I must act fast, or I'm done for." He thinks. So, okay, what does he do? This is complicated.
I don't remember what he did. Oh, he managed to just to show up for her to see him leave as Superman, and then turns up right behind her as Clark.
Yeah, he does the super fast thing.
Yeah. Which works.
Yeah, it works. So
And so she's like, "Oh, I must have just been seeing things," and it's just back to normal.
yeah. Okay, wait a minute. There was a letters thing here.
Oh, you're gonna talk about the letter column?
Oh, there was something.
And I like,
here it is.
I like the letter column. It's letters to Lois and Lana,
Right.
because Lana Lang is often her rival in these stories.
Yeah. Dear editors, if Lois Lane can't be trusted with Superman's identity, how come Batman trusts his butler, Alfred, with the secret of his identity? He said, everybody knows that no woman can keep a secret.
Wow. Wow. I didn't read that, but
Yeah.
what an interesting snapshot of the times.
Yeah. I think there was.
And who is the editor on this book? Mort Weisinger.
Oh, I think it was tongue firmly in cheek, though. But I don't.
You never know.
Never know.
That's funny. I missed that.
Yeah, that was great.
So the next story in this book is called Lois Lane, the Mad Woman. Oh,
Let's go back. I'm sorry.
okay.
All right, she goes insane in the last story because she sees Clark changing to Superman. Why would that unbalance her mind? What in the world? That doesn't make any sense. She suspects it, and she's been suspecting it for years, and then she says, "Oh, okay."
Well,
and it's not that big a surprise, mind-shocking surprise. And if you came out and you were actually an alien and ate me, that might mess up my mind. But
okay.
you know,
but since she suspected he was Superman already,
yeah,
that's a good point. It's a flimsy plot that doesn't quite wash. I will give you that.
Okay, I'm sorry. Okay, go ahead.
So anyway, the next story is called "The Mad Woman of Metropolis," reprinted from Lois Lane number 26.
Right. Has Lois become a raving maniac? All the evidence seems to point that way, including the testimony of Clark Kent.
So this story was written by Robert Bernstein, and we have art again by Kurt Schaffenberger.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
I love the splash panel. It's like Lois just like insane.
Actually, it looks good.
Yeah.
And yeah.
Shades of Margot Kidder.
Her hair looks better that way than it does with the carefully coiffed, which is why I don't find her attractive in the Silver Age. And so the hair looks old lady hair.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, somebody's mother's hair, that's what they said. And
this is not. She doesn't look like this adventurous, go-getter woman. She looks like a spinster.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Although it's probably fine back then. There was just a style, and that's kind of hard.
Yeah.
To go back and watch something what people think is attractive then is not attractive now to me, and
yeah, I'm a sucker for long flowing locks, and this hair is just frumpy to me.
Like what's her name? Crawford.
Joan Crawford.
Joan Crawford. I never thought she was. I've seen pictures of her when she was younger. I don't know. Maybe because I think she's evil and crazy. But
No, I've
You know
only
something?
seen her in like, in her evil crazy period. You're like,
Yeah.
yikes, lady. But when she was a young woman in the silent era, she was beautiful.
I don't know.
You know,
I still see crazy, and
you
maybe
know,
because it's once you hear about something, you cannot unsee it.
it's like I can. It's hard for me to think of Betty Davis as anyone but like a crazy old lady, because that's what I know her from like later in her career. But then you look at her, and she was beautiful when she was younger. I think Katharine Hepburn, she looks like Ronald Reagan as a woman. But then you watch her, see her in films when she's younger, and she's lovely. So,
I agree. The thing is, I can see that with them, but not with Joan Crawford.
okay.
And so it's just all right. So all right.
You know what I mean? Katharine Hepburn really looks like Reagan. Like old, like President
Yeah,
Reagan.
yeah.
Okay.
Okay. All right. Here comes Lois Lane. She's outscoop Clark Kent. So she answers the phone call and pretends to be Clark on the phone.
She puts a handkerchief over them.
Rump, this is Clark.
Yeah.
She does it twice.
Over the, what do you call it? The receiver?
Yeah.
The speaky part?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
No, it's the transmitter.
The transmitter, because the receiver is the part you listen on. Okay.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And she puts on football pads, shoulder pads.
She dresses up as Clark.
That's hilarious.
It is hilarious.
And so here's an odd thing. So she goes to this deserted lighthouse, and she gets bumped on the head.
Because she was to meet somebody for a story and gets hit over the head with a blackjack.
So, yeah, it's kind of odd the way they do this. So, all right. So she's found by the police. Mm-hmm. This is a complicated one, folks. They call Clark Kent, and Clark says, "I've been on my phone all day long," and so
he doesn't cover for her. I love that.
And she's acting like she's crazy, and then she cuts a poster of Superman with a gold knife.
It's a letter opener.
Yeah, and she has some. She goes to a police safety lecture about poisons, and she accidentally gets a bottle of poison.
Yeah, and so Clark sees that and is like, "Hey, are you okay, Lois?" He's worried about her. So she goes to a psychiatrist.
Right. And they think that she, let's see. You have a boyfriend? He says, well, maybe Superman. Something. We don't go out, but he just saves my life all the time. So he gives her a book. Hey, just read a book and you'll be fine. So he gives her Ben-Hur.
Yeah.
It's not a bad read.
Okay.
If you went to America in 1890s and you go into the average house, there'd be two books, the Bible and Ben-Hur.
Okay.
It was huge. And both movies are great. So she reads a book and she really likes it.
Was Ben-Hur made more? Oh, that's right. Ben-Hur was made more than once into a movie. The first one, the silent one, hundreds of extras were drowned.
No, just a few people got injured, hurt, but that's an old wife show.
Okay.
So she gets up. Clark comes by and says, "Hey, this book is blank," and that freaks her out, which is kind of cool.
Yeah.
So she's going crazier and crazier.
Yeah.
So this guy, Killer Meg's strategy is to drive her crazy.
So he's been planning all these things to make her think she's nuts.
Yeah, and Clark here is captured. And so, all right. So Lois is about to take the pills.
To kill herself.
Yeah, to kill herself.
Wow. Really dark.
Yeah, indeed. She looks over the article.
Yeah.
Clark has been writing, and it says, "Salute to Father's Day," and it has Jonathan Kent. And it says, wait a minute.
Jonathan Kent is dead.
Right.
But the criminal who was posing as Clark didn't know that. Which
is odd. You would think if you went to all that detail, is one of the things you look at is, oh, the parents living or dead. It's like...
But, look in this time. This is pre-internet.
Right.
It's an easy mistake to make in the context of this time period. So...
Yeah, so Okay, so the bad Clark pushes out the window, and the good Clark or Superman saves her,
Yay!
and she has this adoring expression on her face. Okay.
Yeah, I do like that.
Mm-hmm.
So
Okay.
the next story is Lois Lane's X-ray vision from Lois Lane number 22.
She can view what's happening behind closed doors. She can look through solid walls, and now Lois can see that big red Superman S under Clark Kent's shirt.
Ooh. So let's see. Robert Bernstein wrote this story, and art again by Kurt Schaffenberger.
Okay. Oh, man. Lois is pretending to be blind for a photo shoot. Oh, I don't know what I think about this. Is that offensive, or they're trying to... I don't know. They're trying to get publicity about blind people. So they're going to be a masquerade ball. She's going to be masquerade. Okay. She's wearing dark glasses. She breaks them, of course, so she has to go get some more glasses. I mean, can she go to a drugstore? But she goes to an optometrist, who is next to Peerless Laboratories, where a rat chews through the cable and gets some kind of weird, powerful rays, and they hit the glasses.
Okay.
So,
Peerless.
I hate when that happens.
Yeah.
Lois can see through an envelope, and she can see through steel, and she rescues somebody because they're tied up. And she's doing okay.
Yeah.
She sees an FBI guy at Daily Planet. Ooh, something's going on at Daily Planet. And she looks at Clark and sees the S.
Under his clothes, yeah. So...
It's kind of cool that they put... You can see the Superman S. You can also see a note he put in his pocket. I thought that was a nice touch.
I like that, too. And I think that note plays into our story later.
Right.
Lana's around too.
Yeah, she's looking smug. And so
as she tends to be with Lois whenever she's got the upper hand.
Right.
I don't remember what it is in this story that makes her think that she's top.
Yeah.
Dog.
She's saying, I used to suspect that he was Superboy. Isn't that a laugh?
Clark, yeah.
Yeah. All right. So Lois is hanging around with her glasses. She sees something going on. There's a car about to crash. She sees Superman going after her, and
she sees it through a wall.
Right.
Okay.
And so she notices it's convertible, and she says, "Hey, did you stop that convertible?" And so Superman saying, "Oh,
I didn't say it was a convertible."
Indeed.
Yeah. So he knows something is up now.
Right.
Which is great.
Yeah, so then she puts a bomb in her desk. Oh, man. And so to prove that that Clark can see it.
Yeah.
Okay. So Superman, Clark says, "Lois, get away. There's a bomb in there." And so Lois he's saying there's a bomb in there. He's admitting he has X-ray vision. And he turns around and he's got her glasses on.
Oh, so then now she can't be so sure.
Right. Okay. So okay. So what it is that someone's trying to kill Clark. So that's why Clark was wearing Superman's outfit, because it's bulletproof.
Oh yeah, because there was an FBI guy in the story too. Okay, yeah, and Clark was in on it with the FBI. Okay, so the next story is The Ghost of Lois Lane from Superman number 129, written by Jerry Coleman, penciled by Wayne Boring, and inked by Stan Kay.
The Ghost of Lois Lane. Lois Lane, dead. A killer. Superman. Maybe that's why only he is able to see her accusing spirit.
Oh man.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. She's for some reason Jimmy wants to buy this super light touch typewriter.
Right.
Just sort of-
And I thought it was ridiculous because it's the typewriter is so sensitive. It would take you a lot of time to master how to operate it properly to keep from just
You can type with your breath. That's how sensitive it is.
yeah.
Yeah, I mean, man, if somebody turned on a fan, it's been messing up everything.
I know, right?
What if you sneezed? Or
Exactly.
coughed?
Yeah, but the weird typewriter is the MacGuffin of the whole story.
Yeah.
So
Or the Deus Ex Machina.
yeah, that's really what it is. But anyway,
Okay, so this guy is professor. He's whack. He's got a goatee. He's inventing a transporter.
mm.
You don't call it that, but that's what it is.
Oh yeah, it's a matter transporter, right?
Yeah. So it's dangerous. So they're not gonna. They don't know how to transport people yet.
Okay.
Lois is waiting for a helicopter, so she sits in the transporter seat, and Superman comes by and says, "Oh, who's there?" Uses X-ray vision. The thing blows up, killing Lois apparently.
Oh.
And so every time, okay, so Superman starts seeing Lois as an apparition,
Weird.
and he's the only one who sees her.
Right.
So every time he uses his X-ray vision, I noticed this while hey, he's using his X-ray vision. She shows up. There must be a connection.
Right. Okay.
Okay, so this goes on and on. So so she writes on Jimmy's typewriter, "Am trapped in fourth dimension. Contact Superman to pull down left lever in Professor Grail's lab so that I can be released. Lois Lane."
So this whole time, Superman was feeling guilty because he thought he had killed Lois.
Right.
Which wouldn't you be just racked with guilt about that?
Yeah, I guess I would. Yeah. But it must happen a lot for something like that. I mean, for Superman, he must. In reality, he would kill people accidentally all the time. It's just he couldn't help himself.
Well, yeah, and every superhero would. Batman too.
No, maybe not Bouncing Boy, but
Well,
and, matter-eating lad. But besides that,
but yeah, there would be accidental deaths all the time when superheroics or superpowers come into play.
yeah, we're not even talking about fighting.
Well, yeah,
in his regular
just use of his powers. Superman would cause those things like that to happen. Yeah. So yeah,
some cool scenes of Lois in the fourth dimension. She can see Superman changing clothes, but she cannot tell who it is.
Interesting. That's a bit like in the Phantom Zone. How in the Phantom Zone they could observe the real world or whatever, but they couldn't interact. Because the stories where like Mon-El is in the Phantom Zone, but he's still helping Superman.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. Here's a cool World's Finest.
Oh, I love this cover.
Okay. Superman and Batman are getting old and tired, and Batgirl and Supergirl are laughing about it.
Yeah. Well, I love it. It's Superman. He doesn't have his powers anymore. He's like it's a strain just to inflate the tires on the Batmobile, and Batman all unshaven. He's like, all I've got. My fortune's gone. All I've got is this broken down Batmobile.
Oh man,
it's a great cover.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So what's going on?
Yeah, I love covers like that.
I do too.
Because you want to read that. Well, what?
Yeah.
So the next story we've got is Lois Lane's darkest secret. She had an abortion. No.
Yeah.
At 16. No, I'm kidding.
I said that. She's a blonde.
Okay. But seriously though, that's a reprint from Lois Lane number 25, and it was written by Robert Bernstein, art again by Kurt Schaffenberger. Schaffenberger really dominates this issue that we're reading. So,
all right, Lois sees a famous movie star going into Jacques Paris, a hair salon.
Yeah.
And so she looks into a crack in the wall and
sees her smoking crack.
Yeah. No. She's under influence. The guys are talking. She's under influence of a truth-telling gas.
Mm-hmm.
It's diethylmethyl tribenzol.
Gesundheit.
Yeah.
Is that a real drug?
It is a. It is not.
Okay.
It's a deliberate misinformation.
Right.
All right. Say somebody's building a bomb and you're showing it. They're not going to tell you how to make a bomb.
Right.
So this is fake. And I was looking it up.
Oh, that's a reaction to in the golden age, the 50s crime comics, where when people were saying, condemning them, so like these act like a blueprint for how to commit crimes.
Yeah.
And so now in the Silver Age, the Code era, we're trying not to do that.
Yeah.
I like it.
All right. So the scheme is to get someone truth-telling gas, and then ask them the biggest secrets, send them on their way, and then blackmail them. What a great scheme! I'm really.
It is a good scheme.
Yeah, just try it now.
No.
Oh, no fun.
Because I don't want to do horrible things to people.
Well, that's what's fun, man.
Oh, okay.
I haven't been watching. The villains always having a good time in these comic books, man.
They do. They do.
All right. Just kidding. Okay. All right, so Lois Lane is ticked off, and so she goes to the starlet and talks to her about it. So the messenger is going to come, and the messenger is a messenger pigeon. So,
right.
It's just kind of clever. So, all right, so Lois is going to read up about the truth-telling serum, and she finds out that you drink a bunch of milk, everything's cool. So,
Like it won't affect you.
Yeah.
Which is weird. And so I like how the bad guys are using the carrier pigeons to like have you deliver whatever so that they can not be present or whatever.
That's
to
clever.
not tie themselves to a scene or whatever.
Yeah. Although now you could put a little bug on it, a GPS on it.
Well, yeah.
But back then. Before she goes, she's getting a phone call that, hey, there's a big kryptonite meteorite here.
From a laboratory, and they want Superman to find a way to dispose of it for him.
Right. Mm-hmm.
Why not call Batman for that? You know what I mean?
Wow. Or Aquaman. Or
any other superhero, or why would you call Superman to get rid of the thing that
because
hurts
Superman is more likely to care.
Okay.
Hey, I need to go. I mean, it just needs to go now, man.
Okay.
Okay, so she tells some stories. She is under the fumes. And she tells a story, and it's a fake story. You find out later. And let's see. Hey, Lois Lane is wearing slacks. Wow, and this awful shirt.
Yeah.
Oh.
Oh, it's pretty bad.
Yeah. So
who picked that shirt out for her? Bill Cosby?
Yeah. Okay. So the bad guys are talking about they call and you need to give us this money and all. And here's something odd we don't see very often in Silver Age. There's a girl bad guy, and she says, "Hey, there's a carton of milk," and so she's on to us.
Okay.
And she looks really mean too, and she's redheaded. So
yeah, that's what I think. You don't see a lot of female villainesses in the Silver Age, and you don't see a lot of strong, like female characters. Period. During that time,
right?
I mean, Wonder Woman still is in publication, and Supergirl had a lead feature, but really, can you think of any other?
Wasn't it the Lady Phantom and stuff?
Oh, the Phantom Lady, Golden Age.
Yeah, Golden Age.
Yeah. Phantom Lady's a great character.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So they make her tell about the big secret, which is the kryptonite.
Right.
So they go and grab the kryptonite to go kill Superman, and Superman comes out of the kryptonite, yay! And
he bursts out of it.
Yeah.
Because it was a fake rock that I love how he was inside it.
That's hilarious.
Like how did you get inside a boulder?
Well, couldn't he just waited in a nice comfy chair right next to it?
Yeah, that is true. All he had to do was be around. Heck, he's Superman. He's so fast, he didn't even have to be right there. He could have just shown up later.
He could have been in Vegas. Oh, gotta go.
Yeah. I love it.
That's kind of cool. And we don't. Okay, he captures him, but we don't see the evil redheaded lass.
Oh, okay. Oh, you're right. Did she get away? I don't know.
All right.
So this is the
Okay.
last and best story in this issue. It's called "The Fattest Girl in Metropolis," reprinted from Lois Lane number 5, written by Otto Binder with art by Kurt Schaffenberger.
In this story, Lois may remind you of Jane Mansfield, Elizabeth Taylor, and Brigitte Bardot roll into one. One big fat lump, that is.
Man.
Oh, man. Okay.
This story would never be published today.
Isn't that sad? It's supposed to be so... The freedom of speech is you should say anything.
Well,
and that's not
I agree,
libelous.
but this is kind of distasteful, and it's kind of... It's cruel to pick on people who are fat, you know?
Well, yes it is, but they pick on people for other things. It's perfectly allowable to pick on people from the South, or from the country, or from the suburbs, or from England. I mean, people are made fun of all the time.
Okay.
Speaking as overweight, I was not offended by this. Hey, it's the interesting thing about this, she is not that fat for today. Back then, she's
very big,
very, very, and abnormally so. But now this is kind of like, I don't know.
I mean, she's like a big gal of today, but no, like in the
Your average Walmart shopper.
Oh my gosh! But
and that's another thing you can make fun of. So.
And you should. Yeah. But I mean, Superman is. There's even a panel of him like straining to carry her. The guy moves planets, you know, like. Yeah. So anyway, let's get on with this.
Lois Lane sees a murder. Lucky. She sees and she
was watching a snuff film.
Yeah. No. And she sees this guy running away and says, "Wow, he looks so ordinary. I couldn't pick him out of anything." So, and she couldn't find anybody. So he looks so average.
Right.
So she goes to this scientist. And said, "I got this device to make plants plumper." And it hits her. She tingles.
Oh, it's Dr. Monsanto.
Yeah. What is his name? Colby.
Yeah.
And
Colby Monsanto.
She is super fat. So,
yeah.
She only weighs twice as much as she used to.
Yeah.
So about 230, 240 pounds. Like, didn't she weigh about 125 pounds in last issue we read?
Something like that. But she's a big gal in the story. So, but anyway.
Yeah. And she needs a borrow dresses. And the woman says, "Oh, you can borrow one of my dresses. I buy them at the fat girl's shop."
Yeah, it's her neighbor, yeah.
Oh, man. Okay.
Can you imagine if it was like literally called that?
I know someone goes to fat yoga, and that's the literal name of it.
That's funny.
They say because that's what it is.
Sure.
So might as well be honest about it.
Sure.
She gets into a car with some people, and the car tires blow out.
Yeah. And it's a car with the two other big gals. They just offer her a lift.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I thought they were guys. I didn't look at them closely enough. So, all right. So she goes through a regimen of losing weight with the sauna and the riding the bike
and only eating vegetables.
And
yeah.
And then it's her birthday, so Superman sends her a big thing of chocolates.
Yeah.
She eats every single one of them. And it's got to be one of those funniest. Did he know that she was going through this? I don't think... he does. She's telling Clark. And if Clark knows, Superman knows.
Right,
but there's a rumor that they're the same.
But Superman didn't recognize her on the street.
Right.
That was the whole thing.
Oh, yeah, because he's got to pretend like he doesn't know.
Yeah.
Which is an awful thing to do. That's the worst. But I think, all right, I know why now. So.
Yeah, but it's funny. Then she goes to a wedding.
And there's a kryptonite ring.
Like, of course. What?
But she doesn't want anybody seeing her. But she,
Why the groom has a kryptonite ring is beyond me. But anyway, she does that to save Superman. Or Lois takes it away to save Superman. Which is nice.
Yeah, so she goes to a freak show, and they say...
You want a job?
Oh, man. Wouldn't that be a horrible thing to do? Hey, freak show. Hey, Yeah, you want to join her to be the fat lady? Wouldn't that be devastating to somebody to be told that?
Yeah,
Oh
that's
man.
pretty messed up.
Okay, so she goes by those wacky mirrors, which are really cool and fun, and they love them in comics and movies, where
Hmm.
it changes you to fat and short,
Oh
tall,
yeah, it's great.
and she's walking by there, and one of the bad guys who killed the guy,
That she saw earlier that
right,
she couldn't pick out. I
I've
was like,
been
that's the
looking
guy.
for her, and there, aha, I found her.
Hmm.
And then Superman comes by and grabs him. He did this to protect her.
Oh, so that she wouldn't be recognized by the people out to kill her.
Right.
And then she's super mad because another exposure to the ray will like correct her like overnight.
Yeah, but she's super mad about that. But then he says, "It'll fix. It'll be fine tomorrow morning." So she gets a last laugh. She goes to a restaurant, eats it up, and charges Superman. And that's Clark's last paycheck.
Oh man.
So that's great.
Yeah. So that's pretty funny. So
Yeah. Yeah, that's great. Yeah, it's not PC, but um, the thing about PC is that the more un-PC it is, the more I'm liking it now because you don't see it, and this is kind of cool to see another culture and all this.
mhm.
It's not a very polite one, and I would not show this to someone who is heavy,
Sure.
besides myself. But it's
Yeah.
but it's funny as all get out, and
Yeah.
this is why it's popular.
Sure.
Okay. But you know, Nick, nobody loves a fat girl.
Oh.